Okay, so I'm going to be waxing my wood, waxing my hardwood, waxing my dark, hard mahogany. Yes, I'm still like a 12-year-old kid. So I ended up doing 4 coats of polyurethane, wipe-on polyurethane on this. I did 3 coats without sanding between. I just tacked it off in between coats. Wiped on the 4th coat yesterday. Came out great. And then my little trick here is to put on this paste wax. And I'm using a dark paste wax because this is mahogany and the client wants it darker. What you're seeing in the camera right now is not 100% accurate because unstained lumber, like the real grain, reflects light. So it seems lighter. Like if I was to put this in a dark room without light bouncing off of it, it would appear to be much darker. And that's the beauty of real wood. And when I say real wood, I'm talking about unstained. I am not a fan of staining. I would rather select the wood for the grain and then have the grain reflect that light. When you look at some of this in the light, it's like a flame, like fire. When you walk past it and change your perspective on the grain, it looks different as you walk by. It's almost 3-dimensional. You don't really get that when you stain wood. And you don't get it as much if you use a water-based finish, which is why I use this stuff, which is not water-based. And so yeah, anyhow. I was home for a few minutes watching that sham of a impeachment trial. These fucking idiots. It's total political theater, man. I don't care whether or not you like the Trump or whatever, but what these people don't seem to understand is that he was elected because of the bullshit that they're pulling right now. My entire adult life we've been lied to and being screwed over by these elites that are too stupid to understand how their rhetoric and policies affect us. That's the whole reason Trump got elected in the first place. It just kills me. Oh, such nonsense. Just watch what's going to happen now, because we're going to be... What did Trump do when he was in office? I don't know. He put more money in your pockets, made the country energy independent, shrank our footprint in the Middle East, created more peace in the Middle East, renegotiated trade deals around the world, made things better for us, brought manufacturing jobs back. What were gas prices like under Trump? It's so crazy, man. They want to distract you with all this crazy, and I don't want to sound like, you know, like a Republican. I'm not a Republican. But I'm just looking at the facts. But they're gonna distract you with bullshit and get you all upset, and it's just nonsense. That was not an insurrection on January 6th. You know, you think those were real Trump supporters? Most Trump supporters are, you know, veterans who are trained and armed. You know, you want to see what an insurrection looks like? Keep up this bullshit. Keep up this bullshit. You're gonna see. Then you're gonna see. You know, you got 20 million veterans in this country. 20 million of all ages and different experiences in the military. But what do you think happens if you really piss them off? Because the overwhelming majority of them are either would call themselves Republicans or at least conservatives, and they're getting tired of this bullshit. If that had been a real insurrection with actual Trump supporters who were armed and wanted to create an insurrection, there'd be a lot of dead people. I mean, they wouldn't have gotten out alive, hundreds of them. And, you know, if these people are so smart, they're trying to get you to believe that they knew that there was a threat. If they knew that there was a threat, where were the 2,000 plus Capitol police officers? Why weren't they there? And why were the ones who were there, why did they let people in to the Capitol building? Why did they let that happen? And I'm sorry, but an insurrectionist doesn't break into the Capitol building for a photo op. Just wake up. Wake up. I mean, it's like you want to be lied to, believing all this bullshit. It is insane to me. Totally blows my mind. So anyhow, I know some of you came here because you want to see what I'm doing with the wood. Want to see what I'm doing with my wood? You hear me make childish jokes. You don't want to hear any of this nonsense. And again, I don't see it as a political thing. I can have an opinion, you know. I'm just so sick and tired of listening to this nonsense. I just don't want to accept it anymore. You know you're being lied to. You should know you're being lied to. If you don't, and you're just believing this sham, the shit show sham, then I don't know what to tell you, but we're not friends. It's not that I don't want to be friends with people who don't think the same way I do, but you're just not a serious person. If you think that this is, these narratives, these bullshit narratives are real, you need to wake up, man. And, you know, good luck with that. So I'll tell you what's going to happen. It's already happening. Gas prices are going up, and we are going to see some bad things happen. We're going to get involved. There's going to be some new conflict here pretty soon. There's going to be some excuse to have to send troops somewhere. Watch it happen. And you know, it's going to be a shit show. At the same time, we're going to be open up here pretty soon too. I've been listening to the phraseology in the media lately with when it comes to the COVID thing. You know, they were saying the other day how, oh hey, it turns out we really think that a lot of people are naturally immune to this, and now we've got enough people vaccinated, so they really need to open the schools. That teacher union issue is a whole other separate fucking ridiculous shit show there. And for those of you who've been homeschooling your kids, I know it's been rough, man. It's got to be rough. But don't you think your kids are doing better? I mean, it sucks for you, right? To a certain extent, for some of you. A lot of you have been enjoying the time with your kids. But don't you think that you've been giving them a better education than they were getting? Without all the propaganda being pumped into their brains? You know, college, those of you going to college, you're paying full tuition to watch the computer, to sit in front of the computer. You know what I learned in college? I learned I didn't need to go to college. I remember thinking in college, it's like, wait a second, all I got to do is read the assignment, take a test to make sure I know it for this small period of time, just so I can do well on a test. You know, college taught me was how to do research on my own. College actually taught me that I didn't need college. It taught me all I need to do is be curious. And then I became more of an autodidact. And I learned that's what all the great minds were. You know, I'm not saying I'm the greatest mind. I'm just saying. Einstein, Ben Franklin. You know, Einstein had this famous quote. He loved saying that the only thing that ever got in the way of his learning was his education. You know, if you listen to those guys, these really smart people, they tell you that they were being programmed with bullshit through the education system. So, you know, there's some war out there for your mind, for your intellect. And these people want you to accept nonsense so they can keep stripping away your liberties and freedom. And you're letting it happen. So, anyhow, let's see if I can capture this on camera here. Look at that grain.